let's start with the sort of biggest rating show on here, which is the Bake Off. Back for 7th series this time, and they changed the format this time. They weren't baking cakes, no, they were baking cakes. For Gary to do his catchphrase.
Cake!
No, that's not it.
Not
I
really
bloody
your
love
catchphrase.
cake. I bloody love cake.
There we go. So,
When have you ever said cake like that ever, let alone it being your
That's
catchphrase?
what I did on Twitter just before it started. I went, cake!
I mean, I don't know how we sort of tackle a Bake Off review, really, because it's the same every year. They just, bake.
I suppose all we can say is I enjoy this, the family enjoy this.
The family. Not your
It's
family.
it's fun, but I do not understand for the life of me, and I don't know whether anyone involved in it does, why it does so blooming well in the ratings. Of course it's fun, of course they're nice people.
And at Edinburgh, I learnt that it ranks very highly between the coveted 16 and 34 demographic.
I think it's that. I think also as well, we talked about the lack of promotion for The Investigator. The BBC practically every advert had something about the Bake Off on the previous week.
But it didn't need I mean, it's one of those shows now that's so sort of entrenched in the public consciousness that everyone knows what the Bake Off is.
But I think they just did such a good job of all summer, the Bake Off is coming.
Yeah, it's just
building that anticipation.
Probably because people were like, "When's the Bake Off starting?" Because it's normally on by now.
It's probably that. Yeah.
Why is all this blooming sport on? Where's my cakes?
Hey. Enjoy the sport and the cake.
Have your cake at the same time.
Has anyone got any favourites this year? I know, several years ago, Gary was all about that Nancy who won it. Last year, we were all big Tamal fans. Well, I was anyway.
I think and again, names. The cool black guy.
Salisi.
First of all, he should have been Star Baker. I do not understand how he wasn't Star Baker.
Gary, can I just give you a little insight into the way I watched this?
Yeah.
I watched it on a preview.
Right.
But the last 5 minutes cuts off, so you don't find out who goes home or who gets Star Baker.
Oh, really? Oh.
And I was convinced that Selassie would be Star Baker, and that woman whose name...
the weird dancing woman who does exercise. Yeah, we wanted to go home in my house.
And I thought she'd go. But no, it was the preacher that went.
He was pretty bad, but I think she was just more annoying as well as bad. That's why I wanted her to go. But no, Salisi was brilliant, and I just loved his attitude of I forgot an ingredient. It's all right.
But if anyone has just great technical challenge for Jaffa cakes, just go down the shop, surely. I actually saw Sue at Edinburgh.
Did you?
She was hosting a panel about what men want.
How the
hell?
But
you never did find out, did you?
Well, we got that men wanted emotion, but stealthily delivered.
Right.
So something
so
like
people
Hunted.
Crying, but on an Air Force.
Hunted apparently delivered that emotion, but with an action background sort of thing.
Right.
Hunted also back on the 20th of September.
Yeah, they did preview the second series of Hunted.
I last week stayed with my parents because my dad had also been in hospital, so I lived with my parents last week. Lots of come dine with me, loose women, and what's the one where Davina McCall rips your heart out and stomps on it and then puts it back and makes you cry? Long Lost Family is horrible.
Horrible? No,
absolutely
it's not
terrible. It's basically 1 hour of Davina McCall and Nikki Campbell building you up to an emotional reunion and then giving it to you. It's like the X Factor, but without the music acts. Isn't it? I don't like it.
I don't think it's terrible. Well, no, I don't see what... I mean, it's the same every week. I don't see what there is to not like. It's just the only reason you wouldn't like it.
I feel like it's playing on your emotions, I suppose.
I don't see why you could be upset with Long Lost Family. It's just...
I love how we've gone into Long Lost Family from the Bake Off.
Well, because you talked about emotional, but no, because I think it doesn't have any intrinsically entertaining value. All it does is play on your emotions.
But funnily enough, they did a list of the top 10 shows just men watched. Not the volume of men, but just men, percentage-wise. So not women watching it. And it was all those Channel 4 history documentaries, like Hitler's biggest weapon. And
that's Channel 5, mate.
No, that's Channel 4.
And Channel 5 do the Hitler stuff. They're doing one on his wife this week.
Well, Channel 4 do a lot of those like Dunkirk and things like that.
I don't feel like this is our best work.
Anyway,
We're rusty.
Bake Off, cakes, drizzle cakes,
Yeah.
mirror,
So
shiny cakes,
the
mirror
annoying
glaze.
woman has got to go, and I think it's too early to pick a winner yet.